Hello, welcome to Requests for Information in Unifier for the Contractor. In this video, we will go over how to send an RFI, how to revise an RFI if requested, and then how to run an RFI Ball-In-Court Report to see who's holding on to the most recent task. Let's get started. In your project, select the RFI's business process down below. To create an RFI, you can click the Create button and a new window will appear. In this form on the left-hand side, you will see the white fields are the fields that you can enter information into, and then the gray fields are automatically generated or created by somebody else. Let's begin entering information. The first field we have is the description. You want to overwrite the text in here. And in this field, enter a clear, short description of what your question is. The next field that we have is the reference number. If you're numbering your own RFI, feel free to enter your own numbering system in this field. Otherwise, Unifier will generate an automatic record number here for every entry that you send through. Nature of work is the next field that we have. In this field, you want to enter a brief description of the work in question. Examples of that would be like a traffic circle, weir walls, hedge removals. The next section we have is reference drawings. In this field, you want to enter any relevant plan sheet drawing numbers that you have to help the engineer of record answer your question. Down below that, we have your specification reference. So in that section, you would want to enter any specification sections that you have relevant to this question. And then description, proposed solution is next. In this section, enter the text of your RFI. So this is where you're going to put your question. And then if you have a proposed solution, you can also provide that in this section. If you'd like to attach a reference drawing or a sketch or a photo, you've got the option to do that here on the right hand side in the attachment section. Click the paperclip button, go to browse, and then you can choose either browse to locate the picture or image or file on your computer, or if you have it open somewhere else, you can drag and drop. And then upload the file. There we go. So now you have a photo attached to this RFI. We're ready to send it. Click Send in the top right hand corner. And from there, the only option you have is Submit. It knows automatically who to send it to. So the last thing you need to do is click Send at the bottom. Unifier will automatically generate a record number for this RFI. And now you can see this RFI in the log here. In that description section, it's really important to make sure that you use a clear, short description of what the RFI is referring to, because this is what is going to display in this RFI log. So if you just use an RFI number like this, it might be difficult to tell at first glance which record you need to open up. So if you use just a basic short description on your document description section of the RFI, that'll help you identify it a little bit better in the list. Next, we'll go over how to revise an RFI if requested. So sometimes you may send in an RFI and the engineer of record returns it to you for revision. So let's see what that looks like in Unifier. Go to the Collaboration section on the left-hand side, expand the menu, and click on Tasks. If the RFI is returned to you for revision, you will get a task here in Unifier. As you can see, this user has a couple of tasks, but here we go. Here is an RFI for contractor revision. You can view it in the preview window if you click on it, this section over here. However, I just like to open up the record so I can see all of the tabs and everything in here. By double clicking to open the record, now you see we have additional tabs on the right hand side. This is important because sometimes there might be a comment that appears for direction for you. So first thing we'll do is accept the record so we can start working on it. This locks the task to our license and opens up all of these fields on the left hand side to modify. Let's take a peek at the engineer's response. Let's see if they told us anything down here. And then the other place to look for direction would be the comment section. So on the right hand side, next to attachments, we'll click the comments tab. And I can tell already there's a comment in here because of this little symbol next to the word comments. And then down below, it looks like they're asking us to revise our description to include a brief reference to the nature of work for this RFI. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. It looks like we just entered RFI number 1. We need to actually put in a description of work so we can identify it in the log. So there we go. Now we have a description in there. And let's return it back to the engineer of record. So at the top right hand corner you can click send. There will be a couple of options now since we are returning this RFI. We want to choose send revision, but we could, however, if we'd like, withdraw this RFI. And withdrawing would basically close the record, end any sort of response and request for information. In this case, we want to choose send revision. It automatically knows who to return it to, so one more time at the bottom, choose send. And then it drops off your task list. When the engineer responds to your RFI, you won't see a task for it, but you will, however, see a notification, and you'll get an email from Unifier that says your RFI has been responded to. If you would like to see all of the outstanding RFIs, you can take a peek in the log and then run a filter on the status. Anything that says pending is still open and has not been fully responded to yet. Anything that says closed has a response and direction. To filter, you can click the search button, find the column that says status, and choose from the selection we're looking for pending, and then click apply. So you can see we have 5 pending RFIs. If you'd like to know what the status is and who's reviewing that RFI, there's a report that we can run. It's called an RFI Ball-In-Court Report. And that will tell you all of the outstanding RFIs and who is holding on to the task. On the left-hand side, expand the report menu and click User Defined. From the list of preloaded reports, we can see an RFIs in Review, RFIs Ball-In-Court Report. Double-click to begin running the report, and then you can choose what format you would like to see it printed in. And then when you're ready, just click Run Report. So this is the RFIs in Review, RFIs Ball-In-Court Report. Let's read this from left to right. We have our Public Works number, project name, and then record number. To the right of that is the description of that RFI, the date that the task was sent, who it was sent from, what it was sent for. In this case, it's contractor revision, and who it was sent to, Cameron. Task action reads in progress. So what in progress means is that that user, Cameron, has accepted that task, clicked that button and locked it to his license and is working on it in Unifier. If you look down below, we have a couple of not started in the report. What that means is that user has not clicked that button in Unifier to accept the task and lock it to their license. With that designation, you might also see a couple of repeated RFI numbers. And what that means is there may be multiple users that have been assigned that task, but none of them have accepted the task yet and started working on it in Unifier. Once one of those users does accept the task, if there were other users assigned to that task, those other users would drop off the list, and the one user who locked it to their license would show up in the log now as in progress. So this report is a nice way to see all of the outstanding RFIs, and in the sent to column, who is responsible for the next task action.